Hi everybody. We're looking at some notes now about equations and inequalities and how to write word problems using them. So here's our first example. It says you want to rent a limousine for a trip to the city, and you have two options. You have Star Limo and you have Classy Limo. Star Limo charges $500 for the night and 95 cents per mile, whereas Classy Limo charges $700 for the night and it has unlimited miles. So we're going to start by calculating which of these is cheaper for some different options. For instance, which of these is cheaper if you travel 50 miles? Well, Star Limo would be the $500 for the night plus, pardon me, 95 cents for all of the miles you're going. So that's 95 cents times 50 miles. So that total is $547.50. And you can type that into your calculator like this. Be 500 plus the 0.95 times 50. And it's $547.50. Let's look at Classy Limo. It's $700 for the night with unlimited miles. So no matter how many miles you go, it's $700. So the cheaper one at this point is Star Limo. Let's try 100 miles. It'd be $500 for the night plus 95 cents for each of 100 miles. Again, typing that into the calculator, you get $595. And again, Classy Limo with unlimited mileage is $700. Let's try 200 miles. $500 for the night, 95 cents for each of 200 miles. And again, Classy Limo is $700. So it looks like Star Limo is still cheapest. Now let's try 300 miles. $500 for the night for Star Limo and 95 cents for each of 300 miles. That comes out to $785. And again, Classy Limo $700. Now Classy Limo is finally cheaper. Okay? So we used these two ideas, these two situations. We calculated the cost at different mileages, and Star Limo is cheap as long as you have less miles, but eventually Classy Limo becomes cheaper. So the question is, when do these costs get equal? And we're going to start by writing an expression for the cost of m miles. Let's look back at this. And each time we have the $500 fixed cost or one-time cost, and each time we're getting charged 95 cents per how many miles. Well, look at the thing that's changing each time. Miles are changing each time. So that's going to become our variable m. And what am I multiplying m by every time? The 95 cents. So that's our expression for Star Limo. Classy Limo is always $700. There's no variable, there's nothing that ever changes. So if I'm going to figure out when these costs are equal, I'm going to say, hey, when does the Star Limo cost equal the Classy Limo cost? So here's the Star Limo cost. And I want to know, when does that equal the Classy Limo cost? And that is just an equation that I know how to solve. I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to look at this. I do not need to distribute or combine like terms on either side of this. I don't need to move a variable. There's just the one. So it's time to start undoing addition or subtraction. So I'm going to undo the $500. And then I have to undo multiplication or division. I'm being multiplied by 0.95 on this side, so I need to undo it. I do that on my calculator. And I find out it's 210.5 miles. That's when the costs are equal. Let's make a sentence about this. At 210.5 miles, the cost is equal. And what will that cost be? Well, if it's equal, I can either plug in 210.5 here, or I can realize, oh, it's the $700. Okay. So So that's problem number one. Look at what we did again. We compared two different limo charges. We found who's cheaper at 50 miles, at 100 miles, at 200 miles, at 300 miles. We just kept plugging in and calculating the cost. We realized that Star Limo is always cheaper until you get to a lot of miles. And then suddenly Classic Limo is cheaper. So we said, can we find out where exactly they're equal? So we wrote an expression using the ideas we had up here, that it's always $500 plus 95 cents times how many miles. $500 plus 95 cents times how many miles. This side was always $700. So we set those two things equal and solved. This is an equation that we know how to solve really well at this point. We found out that when the miles are 210 and a half, they have equal cost. So we wrote a sentence. At 210 and a half miles, the cost is equal. And we knew that that cost was $700.